So this came from Pedders Suspension, who might be an Australian company, I'm not sure, but a nice man called Phil sent these up. I think they came on next day delivery, actually. Well, if this is actually them, this might be a completely unrelated box, and I've confused the two. Ewan Stark, drifter. He got a bunch of stuff delivered from Pedders because his Toronto tow car was in dire need of suspension, and so he put us in touch with Pedders to get some new ones for the Sorento. So the Sorento has this awful self...
Right ones, that's a start.
How do you know?
Because it's got a pointy pin end at the top.
Ah!
Pointy pin end on the...
You passed the first test, because would you believe Sorento has 3 different versions in this generation of car? It's like they used like whatever leftover suspension parts they had from other builds, they just jammed it together to make a car. These are...
Technical bulletin.
Oh.
Bump stops.
Bump stops.
No, I've not got any bump stops.
Yeah, do we need those?
Shocks, springs.
We don't have leaf springs.
Bushes.
That's quite cool. It comes with like guidelines for not being an idiot when doing your suspension.
Nice quality. It's not a thin toilet paper.
Oh yeah, they've employed someone to print those. You've made it filthy already. I see you've forgotten to wear your gloves again.
Ah.
So the springs, that should be where the money. Yeah, that's where the money's at, David.
All I have to do is fit them now.
Well, how much fucking stuff are we going to have to unbolt to fit those?
I'm hoping the spring compressors will bring them down so we can actually...
Oh, I never thought about that. I meant to buy spring compressors.
Otherwise we...
Do you have spring compressors?
Oh god, yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because otherwise we'd have to do then...
We'd have to cut a hole in the boot floor and take them out through the top?
Take the entire back subframe and drop it. Well, not the subframe, the axle.
Yeah, because those are big ass springs, David. They look like they mean business.
Yes.
Which is what we need.
There's actually not that much to drop the whole back subframe.
If there's one thing I've come to expect from this car, David, it's simplicity. Stupidity and simplicity. So like, you could take almost everything off with a 10mm bolt or a 12mm bolt. Or a Phillips head screw, none of the torques nonsense. Science is happening. So the whole reason for this is the suspension is super saggy. I don't have a video of that because I was driving, but here's an image of how saggy the suspension is. And that's what we want to avoid because it makes it hard for the trailer to be under control while driving. Next step.
Take the shock absorber off. Oh, that's not going to fucking turn at any stage of life. That's
Like, what would you then have to do? Like
grip that
brace.
Grip those 2 flats at the top. That's what they give you to.
What? Like those?
Those 2 flats. No, I assume they're flats.
Probably not going to be flat anymore.
They're flats. And the smarts, they're torques. Sometimes torques.
That doesn't seem very friendly.
No.
Right, springs are off. Super. Now you said they were about the same size but thicker. Let's
go.
Let's actually find out.
Oh, hyper accurate here.
Whoa.
370mm.
Yep.
From spring tip to spring tip.
And actually, it came out with relative ease. Once I
cut the
angle grinder to the anti-roll bar linkage, and then it dropped out with relative ease. You're right, they don't look much taller.
It's got a little bit. It's got an extra coil because the coil's an extra. So I'm just gonna have to go and estimate here. Oh, actually no, it's pretty much like 374 or 37. Yeah, it's pretty much the same height.
And actually, for thickness, they don't look far off either.
They're not far off.
So, including powder coating.
Please excuse my ghetto measuring skills.
We're going to get you some new ones, David.
One day.
If people hit like, we'll get you some new ones.
That's a good idea. I'm calling that 13. Yeah, 13.
Yep. 14, maybe 15. The other ones.
But a few millimetres actually makes a lot of 16.
Okay.
So it's 2mm thicker. I'm sure someone can do the maths.
And 2mm taller.
I'm sure someone can do the maths on how much extra material it is for being 2mm thicker, because that's around the entire circumference. So it's like how many much more percentage.
Does that mean we've got 20 kilogram springs?
No. Not quite that level of...
Just another you and Stark reference.
No, I can still move them by hand. They were still giving them.
God, the face you made was great though.
Yeah.
The face of pen shitting.
Still some movement. Right.
They look swaggy though.
They do. Right, let's get this fucking shock off.
Right. Next. Wait, when you say get the shock off, are you plan B'ing it immediately?
There's no hope there for.
I have just had visions of you like slicing through the middle of the shock absorber. Got a bit of a twinkle in your eye there, David.
Not well. It's plasma guard time.
That's the twinkle.
We get two sides of the nuts, it should just fall off. It's hot. Who would have guessed it? Please. It's fucking heavy. I can't actually see where it's going, that's one of the problems. Is there a space up there? I'm assuming there's a...
Well, it came out of a hole.
It did. Let's go back in. There we go.
That's it. Done.
It is.
Lower it.
It's... Right, okay. Right. Shocks time.
So, with my limited understanding of shock absorbing, I was expecting that a more difficult to compress spring would be harder. So,
Shock absorber.
Shock absorber, right. So I can push that one down, and that's the rate at which it comes out. Let me show you the other one. Feels like it's easier to push down, and it springs back faster. So, let me just...
Good luck doing that at the same time.
So the new one definitely springs back faster. But to compress it is actually...
It feels easier on that one.
It's easier. So I can compress that one. Can I compress this other one? It's much fucking harder, but I can actually do it. So, by the looks of it, the new Pedders suspension is actually softer on the shocks than the old stuff. Which is the opposite of what I would expect. So if anyone understands that, please tell us, because although the springs are clearly heavier, I would expect that this would also be stiffer. So, if you understand that, please let us know.
Perhaps they're not so much stiffer, perhaps they're rated higher.
Oh, so like they don't get to the bottom and then blow out?
No, I mean
because, like if it gets to
let's say you've
halfway
got
through its travel, it could be stronger.
4 tons in the back of this or something, and you've got the shock giving it up and down instead of falling to parts on the inside like the other one might do. They might be stronger, but I don't know.
Scoring out the bore or something.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
Up and down.
Anyway, let's fit them.
Yes, that's a good idea. I'm going to bring it. See if you could squish that down to get it in the hole.
Just make it easier for me.
Smart.
3, 2, 1,
go! Go!
Before it becomes too long to fit in the space. That's all.
So were you saying these spaces are because the kit has got multiple uses?
I'm gonna guess so. Otherwise you've just made shock absorbers that fit.
Well, see, you've got almost enough room to get your...
Almost got enough. I have to take my gloves off.
Tell you what, the shocks look nicer. The suspension, generally all of it.
Generally everything looks better.
Generally all of it looks better.
There was that big fucker. I need to clean up as well. That goes in between those two, and then the rest of that just...
Fitting is the reverse of removal.
Fitting is the reverse of removal. That'll do.
And so, what do you torque these up to?
I'm talking until it's tight.
Till it's tight. And then that's it, isn't it? One side done?
One side done. Right, once you put the brakes...
Springs in?
Once you put the brakes back together.
Oh, I thought the brakes were back together. I suppose caliper's hanging off. Spot the missing item from the brakes, Paul. Well done. Dickhead. Right, so Mr. Archgap, as he is right now, please excuse the fact that I need some new tyres on the back here. That is about 75mm from the plastic liner, maybe even 80mm. To the top of the tyre. With new suspension.
Fuck off!
Trying to film here, you millionaire helicopter bastard. Right, new suspension is on. Same test. Now, bear in mind, this will settle because they're brand new. So that is now from plastic trim to the top of the tyre. We now have 125 millimeters. So 12.5 centimeters instead of. Wait, what did I say the other side was?
No idea.
70-ish. So that's like another 55 millimeters of. Another 55 millimeters of height. Right, cool.
Stage B.
I think.
Stage B. Manhandle isn't ill. There we go. Right. That's it.
So in terms of actually fitting this, David, there's one bolt at the bottom.
One at the bottom and well, a nut at the top.
And a nut at the top. Which, under normal circumstances, you'd be able to just remove that nut. But
yes.
Because old ass Sorento.
Because age.
You need to plasma cut it off, and then an Allen key, and winding that bad boy around. Give it a bit of the good stuff.
Done. Sold.
Pick up the trash while I'm over here. So that's done. It's looking higher on the back. That should compress nicely. Dave, if you would be so kind, do you think you could put some weight on that tow bar?
Yeah, without,
And you can be 80 kilos of nose weight.
without cunting myself here.
Barely moved. That's 80 kilos of nose weight. Is that how nose weight works? I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be much better. Thoughts on the fitting process?
It's easy. Well, apart from plasma cutting the top nuts off the shocks.
But that's not about the kit. That's
No, that's
old ass Korean steel. Part of the process.
But I don't know. The shock absorber we'll see, but they felt squashier than the stocks. But the springs were.
No, the springs are
3
definitely
mil thicker.
Yeah, they're definitely heavier of duty. Well, I reckon we should take the steel out from underneath the car and then take this for a test drive.
Yes.
And report back our thoughts from inside the vehicle. We've just been test driving the Sorento. Suspension's a little bit softer, definitely higher at the back because I had to like move my mirrors down. That was a surprise. That was the first thing I noticed when we got back in the car. Well, suspension doesn't really feel any different to what we had before.
There's no bangs or crashes or.
No, it's not clunking.
No.
It's not rubbing. It hasn't all of a sudden become hugely dangerous because of the extra 50 mil of arch gap. Easy enough to fit. Thank you, Phil, for answering all my questions before I bought the suspension. If you need suspension for an off-road vehicle, or you're just looking for something beefier, Pedders, highly recommended. Good looking product, high quality, and has allowed us to beef up the Sorento for towing. So looking forward to towing again and seeing if it's improved. Shall I see if our burning smell's still there? Don't smell it now. Burning smell unrelated to suspension.
No.
It's just related to Sorento. So that's it. Thank you for watching, everybody. Tune in next time for, I don't know, we'll be fixing something else. A Subaru maybe. Or well, another bloody project car. Brakes are working.
Brakes are working.
Sold. Thank you very much. Bye, peeps.